Welcome to the Spiritual and Cosmic Podcast of Lady D, the podcast where the mystical meets every day. I'm your host, Lady D, psychic, medium, astrologer, spiritual guide, and cosmic truth teller. Each week we'll dive into real talk about living in a spiritual life in a human world. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the messy, and in between. From psychic insights, astrology breakdowns, to soulful chats and cosmic truths. This is your sacred space to awaken, expand, and keep it 100% real. So grab your crystals, open your heart, and let's get spiritual and cosmic. Welcome to Spiritual and Cosmic Lady D, the podcast where we dive deep into astrology, psychic and development, and spiritual world. I'm your host, Lady D, and today we're exploring the big question that so many of us in the spiritual path face. When do you know you're ready to be a professional reader? Maybe you've been reading for friends, maybe you're still practicing on yourself, but you feel the nudge from spirit that it's time to step up. In this episode, we'll be sharing signs that you're ready on how to handle the fears that come with stepping into professional work, and my own journey of knowing when to say yes to being service in the way that it is to spirit. So let's dive in. I've actually got a sore throat. I'm filming this on the 2 nights before the eclipse on the 20th, and it's in Virgo. It rules the 6th house is health, so just bear with me. I do have a bit of a sore throat. Trying to get rid of it. So to see. So we all have fears and excitement, when we're practicing and we're learning and we're getting to that stage where, it's time for us to want to get into being a professional reader. And I think everybody, even now, I myself have the fears of, I'm not good enough, or what if I can't connect? What if I can't get the messages? So that's quite normal to have those fears. It's also every journey, everyone has a different journey on how they step into the professional world as well. Most people are older than me, so I am still one of the youngest readers out there. When you go into fairs or in the spiritual world, I'm still one of the youngest readers that you'll find. A lot of the other ones are older simply because they've started their journey older. You'll find that most readers that are out there at the moment have, gotten married, their kids are grown up, left home, and they're looking for something to do. A lot of them do tarot readers, so they've gone to a tarot course, and the teacher they've had has pushed them out there to do it. I'm a bit unique, so for me, that's not how my journey, and I will share my journey with you in this episode as well. But we all have these different fears, and spirit will give you the nudge on when it's time to step out. And it's also about saying yes to opportunities that come to you. So the signs that you're ready is when you're consistently giving accurate, meaningful guidance in practice readings. So when you're practicing with friends or family or people that you work with, or even yourself, I always say to people, start talking to your guides. So if you're asking your guides, is it going to rain tomorrow, and you get yes and it rains, or should you take an umbrella? What clothes should you wear? And you're getting those, or what should I have? What will I like? If someone cooks for you your dinner, ask what you'll be having that night. Or if you're going out to a restaurant, ask, what should you pick on the menu? Things like that. But if you're getting the accurate people coming back to you and saying, oh my God, that thing happened or that resonated, then that is a good sign as well. You developed the trust to your intuition and know how it speaks to you. You feel pulled by spirit, the universe, to serve others. People are starting to ask to pay for your reading. So if people want to give an exchange of energy, or that they still, getting these good compliments that, you should go out there. And you've thought about ethics, boundaries, and responsibilities as a reader too. If you're going to someone, like there's a lady in my area now, so I think I spoke about her in a different podcast. So she keeps on asking for free readings in return for a positive feedback. And she keeps on saying that she's practicing. But she does also do paid readings. Now, I don't believe that she should be charging if she's still saying that she's practicing. I actually did go to her for a reading just out of curiosity to see, how she was. And in my opinion, I believe that person should not be charging anything for readings. I think she's still got a long way to go. I think that she needs to go and do classes, and it's very important that you go and do classes. I don't, yeah, unless you're like, your mum's a reader or someone that you know is a reader and they're teaching you. There are just things that come with going to class, and then you practice with other people that you don't know, that, puts you out there and puts you in on that path, and gives you, a bit of insight as well by that person that really I believe should not be reading or not be charging for reading, and not even been asking for positive feedback for her Facebook page. I don't know, when I saw her, she did tell me some things about herself that I won't disclose on here, but I think she needs to really look at why she's doing the work. And as I said, you can't be saying you're practicing and charging. Um, it's either you're practicing, if you're paid to go to class to practice or go to a workshop, but if you're out there doing professional readings and advertising yourself and having a Facebook page, then yeah, that's more, you're not practicing anymore, you're being professional. But anyways, as it goes with the ethics. So we have to go with this inner work as well. And you're always going to get the nervousness. You're always going to get, I'm not good enough. Even for myself doing this podcast, I get nervous doing this podcast. I always think, I'm not good enough. Why would people want to listen to me? So you've always got that inkling about it, but you've got to have that confidence. You got to give things a go at the same time. If you're out there thinking you're going to be a millionaire, that's probably not the right mindset, and it takes a lot of hard work. I've been in this industry now since around 2016, maybe 2015, professionally reading, and it has been hard work to get to make where I am today. Part of that is because it is an ageist um, profession. People do prefer older readers than younger readers. I've more or less got myself now um, in presenting myself, and in the way that I carry myself. Also, my brand also helps me now as well, where people don't get that ageist anymore as such. But when I first started, it was a big thing where people would come to me simply because of my age. So, but we've all got those things of I'm not good enough. Um, and we're always learning too. So as long as you're able to read, pick up things. But I'm going to share with you my story. So for me, I was doing classes, and then I was getting this nudge from spirit that it's time to go out professionally. Now, I didn't actually start to practice or go to classes to think that I would then go off and be a professional reader. That's not something I did. I started to see where it would take me. And then I just had this, I get these feelings, feelings of what I should do. And I was this feeling that, I should go and get a stall at a fair. And I actually started at Reesby, at one of my local fairs here near where I live. But before that, I would set my timer and I'd practice with friends, anyone that would practice with me, and I'd set a timer, and I would just like start by doing psychometry, so holding an item of theirs and getting things, seeing how long I would go, and then I would go to the cards. But I would see if I could go read for um, 15 minutes, half an hour. I think I was setting timer for at that point 20 minutes or half an hour to see if I could, because if I'm reading at fairs, then I would be doing private readings as well. So I would always start with psychometry, sorry. That's how you say it when you hold something. And then it's like your abilities become stronger. So now, like, I'm at the point now where I don't have to hold your item. And I am at the point now where I don't use cards either. I can just sit there and read for you without looking at the cards. I might pull them out sometimes, but most times, 98% of the time, I'm not pulling out cards. I'm not holding your objects, because I do readings online via Zoom as well, which I haven't got objects there. So, so I would hold their items. I would time myself. Um, and if I was getting to that point where I could go over the timer. So that's when I knew that I could hold it and I could do it. And plus, I was getting good feedback as well, by people I was reading for, that I was accurate. I was picking up things. So I always tried very hard at my gifts, and I've always practiced with my guides, even in asking them questions, and I do it to this day. So I then got a stall or stand at my local markets. From then, I actually got to go into psychic fairs. So I went around to psychic fairs. I approached organisers, introduced myself, and then I think for Mingara, my friend, lady that I knew, she was in that fair, and then one day she couldn't make it, so she got me to replace her stand, for my own stand, and that's how I started getting into psychic fairs with her. Um, and then it just sort of took off from there. The same with my YouTube channel. So I just got a feeling. Basically, I just had to start a YouTube channel. And I had a friend that helped me with that in the early days. She helped me record in her house. Now I do it from my room, or a room where I live. So all these things just get feelings, and it's the same with all my social media, TikTok, with it all, even the podcast. I just get feelings I should start it, and then I do it. It's important that you take on any opportunity that you get. How I got into MBS, so I actually tried out for the reading room, and I didn't get a call in, nothing. And then I was like 2 weeks before the MBS started. I think this has gone back. It may have been 2016. It's a long time now. And I just got a phone call 2 weeks out saying that someone pulled out and they had a vacancy, and would I want to have the stand? And I just said yes, I'd make it work. So I had someone to share with. They couldn't do the 4 days, and stupidly for me, I didn't realize how it all worked. And because it was in my name, I um I charged her less than what I should have, actually, and I was stressing out. Was I going to make the money back? Like, am I good enough to be there? I was a wreck, and it didn't help that one day the lady who was sharing a stand next to me, she was a bit of I don't know, a funny lady, and she came out and she was complaining about how bad the day was, and I had a good day. The people that I had helping me each day, I said to them I needed to get 10 readings to cover the stand at the end of it, so they were really good at helping me out. And I sort of was half hearing what she was saying, and then I just said, "Oh, I had a good day," and then she looked at my stand, looked at me up and down, and basically said, "Who are you anyway? Who are you?" Which made me feel so tiny, so small. And I didn't stay for the drinks, the welcome party that they had on the first night. I said to my friend that was helping me, "I will just go," but she said, "Don't let people make you feel that way." And yeah, so it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. You have these inklings, you had these nervous feelings, but that's how I got into the MBS. Because back then, the October one to the March one were run separately by two different people. So I was in October 1st, and then slowly but surely I got into March. And then to get into a shop, I knew I had to get into a shop, and just by chance, I was sitting beside in one affair beside Rusty Gal, Sue from Rusty Gal, and she had a shop. And my friend was talking to her, and I was talking to her, and then she said, "Yeah, I'll let you read from my shop." So it's always about timing as well. When the timing is right, things just happen. So that's when I started to read more professionally. That's when I had to start doing 1 hour readings, 45 minutes, half an hour, and she also had 15-minute readings that I would have to do as well. Um, and I did it. So that's sort of my inkling on how I got into the industry. Um, and it has been a very big journey. I'm still there. I'm still, moving along. I think I'm the little engine that could, with all the, yeah, it hasn't been easy. It's been hard. But as I said, if you're someone that thinks you're going to make millions or be famous, it is hard work. And there are so many. The industry is overloaded at the moment. So I think that next year, once that Neptune goes into Aries, there is going to be a big cleansing of people. So, um, and I just, for myself, I said I've had to work because of how young that's been my main obstacle for myself, is just how young I am and how young I look. But also too, you got to think about, you're going to be a business. So when you're starting your business, you got to start thinking of a brand. What makes you stand out? Do you want to be one that blends in with others, with the crystals, with the hair, with the caftan, or you're going to be someone that stands out? Where, so for me, I've created a brand for myself. Number one, with my name, Lady D. So I use a different name than my real name. So I have a psychic name, and I have obviously my real name because I have a different job. I also work as well as do this on the side. So I need to have those two, and plus that, having a label or a different name helps me get into character a bit. Also, too, for myself, I always make sure that I am dressed up as part of my brand. Lady, if I've been called myself Lady D and dressed like a hippie, doesn't kind of match. So, for myself, I make sure my hair is done nicely, makeup on point, and it's grown. I evolved over time. So now I before I never used lashes. Now I do. I've started this year getting my hair done by the hairdresser. When I go to fairs as well. I always make sure I wear nice jewelry, I have nice clothes. And my clothes, like most of my clothes are from bargain racks. I like to go bargain shopping. At the West at is it called Fashion Spree, Liverpool. So I get a lot of my stuff from there. But it's about creating this brand. When people think of me, they think of the pink lady, or they think of the cupcake lady, because there are some feel sell cupcakes and cookies. So it's having that something that makes you stand out, that makes you, different from the rest, because you don't want to blend in where they can't remember what you look like, or, even if you have a bag, just something that makes you different and unique, because it's your brand. We're a walking brand. You've got a business at the end of the day. So that's something you've also got to think about to make you stand out. Make sure that your branding is professional. Make sure that you've got a business card, um, and make sure that you take out every opportunity that comes to you as well. Never, depending on what it is, obviously, but good opportunities come and you say yes to them. That's in any industry that is. You say yes, and you don't know where it's going to take you. It's like the radio show. I still want to get onto an actual radio show, and it is something I'm still trying to do. But I've got the A1R radio station, so I actually pay for that. So that's my media training, I tell people. So I have that as well. But yeah, so for me, and it's great when you hear feedback. So I've really tried hard on my accuracy, on my reading. As I said, it's evolved now to the point where I don't have to hold people's objects. I just connect. A lady that I had today at a fair, she had a stand and she said she's going to come to me for a reading because everything I told her happened, and she's been referring people onto me. And that's great. When you've got people that are referring other people onto you, that's the best compliment, and it's the best way of advertising, really, and showcasing who you are. If also too, is a good way of start doing a live. So if you've got a Facebook page, do a live and make it like every same time every week. Then people know that you're there. It only is it's practice for you. That can be like your practice time. And also showing people what you can do as well to then advertise to get people to come and see you for private readings too. It's also your way of giving back. So there's different way than why you would do a live. So that's one thing you can do. And don't shy away from it. The more you shy away, the more, it's just not going to happen. Also too, classes are important, but when you get to a point where you're starting to read professionally. Sometimes it's the classes don't cut it anymore. So where I'm at now, I do some workshops for some people sometimes. Like I did the one to Chris Drew this year, but a lot of the other workshops around, I don't really go. If someone who's just doing workshop, like 10 years of workshops, you're not going to make it to where you want to be. Because it's about sitting with spirit, holding it for long times, and just being in the industry and reading, in saying that you have to be at that point where you can do that. And I say, if you're saying you're practicing, then yeah, you shouldn't be charging. So, but that's how my story, and that's how I knew that it was ready for me to start just getting that inkling and people coming back to me and just feeling that push from spirit, you know. So, start small, start in a little fair somewhere, but make sure, as I said, practice with people and put timers there. Make sure you can actually hold the energy and read for that amount of time. I keep it heart centered as well. I always connect from the heart. I find that's the easiest way to connect with people too. So, thank you for tuning in to Spiritual and Cosmic with Lady D. I hope today's episode has given you some clarity and encouragement. If you've been wondering whether you're ready to step into the professional readings, remember there's no perfect moment. Your readiness often shows itself through practice, trust, and willingness to serve. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow the podcast and share it with someone who might need this message. You can also connect with me on Instagram at Lady D Psychic, on Facebook, which is Lady D Psychic Parties, and of course, check out my upcoming events like Psychics at Sea Psychic Development Cruises at psychicsatsea.com.au. Until next time, stay spiritual, stay cosmic, and trust your gifts. I'll see you in my next episode. So, bye for now.